Hello and welcome to the Failures to Success. My name is Vuyo Joboda, and on this podcast, weekly we will be discussing the true cost of success, looking at the realities behind success. What are the physical, psychological, spiritual, financial, and mental health effects and costs to being successful? In essence, we wish to share the failures to success to help equip, empower, and inspire you for your journey to success. Stick around, it's going to be a good one. Hello, everyone. Hello, darlings, as I would always like to say. Hello and welcome to the Failures to Success. And this is my very brand new podcast that I am presenting to you from my heart to your heart, and hoping it will help heal your heart, your mind, and your soul. And I've called this particular podcast specifically by this name because I found myself most recently being in a process and in a season where I am asking all the questions to myself and about myself, specifically around the idea of purpose and the idea of success, asking myself so many questions that I have seen along the way, and I want to be able to help you guys as well ask yourselves, or if you are asking yourself these same questions, to be able to answer them as well. In this podcast, I hope to be as vulnerable as I possibly can. And by that, I mean as honest and as transparent. I'm coming to you in my most truest self. As you can see, I have no makeup on. This is what you'd see me and envision me daily, wearing a hoodie without makeup. You know, I would wear my spectacles, but they're broken now, so I can't put them on because they're going to fall off. But I wanted to start this on a note where I am at my truest self and at my most honest self. And that's exactly what this podcast is about, for us to be able to see ourselves in a capacity that enables others to know that there is parts of ourselves and we are people who are real and who have similar challenges and who are experiencing challenges as well. So in our so-called success that we are consistently experiencing, you know, there are failures, there are realities, there are mistakes, there are things that we go through that we don't necessarily could deem as showing off to people or showcasing to people. But those are the realities that we can often find similarities in. So this podcast is for the dreamers and the doers, my absolute favorite darlings who go out there and chase their dreams and achieve success. But what is the true cost to success? It doesn't come easy, and I am testament to that. And I wanted to start this podcast because I wanted to show you guys and explain and also bring others who are going to consistently put this notion and this concept that, you know, success is something that we are all looking for, or at least the majority of us are working towards. But what does it cost to get it? What is the absolute cost to getting success? So we are discussing all of those in this podcast, and I'm going to be very open and honest, which I have been so shy to do. Not even shy, but I've just always kind of been in the journey and in the process that I was so focused on the process and the results of the process that I never necessarily had time to open up about the process. So we showcase the end results oftentimes about so many of the processes that we go through, but people don't know what was the process. Like, the results are fantastic or amazing. Our Instagram accounts are looking fabulous. The magazine articles and the interviews and all of these amazing things, but they come at a cost, and I want to be able to share that with you and give you some insights of what exactly is the cost to success. And I'll be bringing in some amazing people who are going to be able to also share their failures to success so that you can be empowered for your journey to success, because it comes with a bit of failure. I hope that you guys are excited as much as I am, because I am super excited about this journey. It is part of my healing process. I have wanted to find ways of healing, because I've been in a very stressful, situations, and I've had to pay the cost of certain successes that I've accomplished. And I wanted to utilize this space to be able to share, and hopefully by sharing, be able to encourage someone else, but also to heal, because by talking about your pain, you're able to at some point or some way heal from it. So I'm in my healing process, in my healing journey, and I want to be able to do that and connect with you guys on that particular path as well. So I hope you're ready to go on this journey with me. It's going to be absolutely incredible. It's going to be exhilarating in the sense that it's going to challenge us emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and every otherwise, as we know that mental health is part of the process and the journey. As the more successful you get, you can't separate it. We can't say, the less mentally, the better your mental health becomes. But at some points, and oftentimes, and in my situation, I saw the impact on my mental health on the certain success that I've accomplished. And it hasn't been a process that I've seen as, as something that I would like others to go through. I would like others to know and understand that how do you prioritize your mental health? How do you put yourself first? How do you ensure that in the process and in the journey to getting or succeeding on some of your goals? And success looks different for all of us, right? Like success comes in different shapes and forms, and there's not only one area of success that we can accomplish. Like it's not only success career-wise, but success emotionally, success spiritually, success mentally, success in relation to others. Like there are so many ways in which we can be successful, and that we want to be successful and need to be successful, because someone could be successful relationally. They have the best relationships and they have success in that area and aspect of their life. But what about career-wise? Or you could be successful career-wise, but every other part of your life has no success. So us also having an understanding of looking into each and every aspect and saying, how do we address success in all of these areas, and how do we navigate the challenges that we find ourselves in from all of these areas? So that's all the stuff we're going to be unpacking on this podcast. And yeah, I'm super excited. It's I've had the last couple of months have been extremely mentally exhaustive for me. I've taken a break of social media. I've taken a break from certain people, and I've isolated myself, not because I want to be away from everything, but because I felt like I want to deal with a lot of my mental health challenges that have become a result of certain successes, if I can even put it that way, or part of the journey and the processes that I've had to been through to get into some of the successes that I've had. So it's been a very difficult past, year for me. It's been a very difficult year, and I've really been, going through the absolute most. And that's why I wanted to be able to start this, series or this podcast by just being like this and just showing you myself and, just coming to you as bare as I possibly can, so that you can be able to see how I am every day. Like, this is me. This is how I, if I'm not at work, or if I'm not at an event, or if I'm not having a meeting, this is basically how you'd feel to walk in my apartment. You'll see me looking this way. So I wanted to come to you in that capacity. But also, I'm coming to you guys live from New York City. I haven't necessarily, no one actually knows about this, but by the time you guys get to listen to this, you would have probably known. But I'm in New York City, and as you can imagine, that could seem and come across as, oh my God, Vuyo, you are in New York City. I've just recently graduated. Just moved to New York City, and for a trial run to figure things out and establish, certain things. And, it's really seemingly like, oh my God, you graduated. That's a milestone. You've just gone to a new country. Oh my goodness. But those two things which have occurred in the past 6 months are not even like, and then I look back at the 6 months, which is the rest of the year from last year, that I've also had to like, have had highlights. Oh my God, like amazing things that have occurred, places I've been, people I've met, and to one seeing and one looking and one viewing, it's like, oh my goodness, that is success. But I wanted to come to you guys and share some of the things that I've had to go through in order to get to those spaces, or some of the failures I've had to experience. And I don't use the word challenges because I don't see challenges as, I see challenges as part of the journey, but I see failures as an indication of where are you in the journey, or if the journey is even worth it. I don't know if that makes sense, but if I'm faced with a challenge, it doesn't change my trajectory of that goal. But if I find myself in a failure or failing at a particular thing, I consistently have to look at the goal, analyze the goal, and see what is this failure meaning to the ultimate goal, right? And how do we go around it? So I'm going to be unpacking all of that, and I hope that you guys are really open to receive and open to accept everything that I'll be pouring into you from my heart with this podcast. And I'm saying podcast because I'm getting even used to the A's, which has been the first thing I've learned as I've been in the States. Like, how do you say A compared to like in my South African accent? But yeah, I had a conversation recently with a friend, and I think that really, I had been considering doing a podcast for quite a while, right? But I think this conversation I had with this friend really gave me the inspiration to just go for it, right? And I was telling her I'm in New York City, and, we were having a discussion about the possibilities of what could be done in New York. And this is all career related, right? And she is an industry friend. So we were chatting career, and she asked me, Vuyo, how do you do it? Like, it sounds so impossible. Like, how do you do the things that you do? Like, how do you, because I was telling her about some of the things that I'm, looking on doing, and the channel that I've launched in the USA, and, some of the productions I'm working on. And she was like, oh my God, how do you do it? And I was like, she was like, do you have, what did she say? She was like, do you have a trust fund, or do you have like a sugar daddy? Like, how do you get all of these things done? Because to me, it seems like something extremely impossible. And I remember thinking while she was saying that, I was like, oh my God, I could imagine how many other people have that thought about like how I or anyone else who might be seemingly successful, how things occur, or the realities behind how these things occur. Like, how do you go to another country? Do you have a trust fund? Do you have a sugar daddy? Do you have like someone who comes from where you come from, who has a similar background, same age, same gender, and is in your position, should not be accomplishing these things? So how do you, not even directly accomplishing these things, but they have been consistently discouraged. So how do you keep going? Unless you have a trust fund or a sugar daddy, or I don't know, like really cool friends, then how are you doing it? And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I need to address these stigmas and these like ideologies that people might start framing around those who work extremely hard to be successful or to gain success, and which might be stereotypes and might be incorrect. They might be incorrect, and I wanted to be able to share that. And so this podcast is all about ensuring that we demystify notions and ideas of what the true cost of success is, looking at emotional psychological or other physiological effects, and most spiritual, and most importantly, mental health related effects that come with it. So for me, I was like, if I were to share with you the failures I've experienced just by coming to America or coming to New York, I'm living right now in this New York apartment in Upper Manhattan, in Harlem, Upper Manhattan. And it's just, oh my God, yes, it's seemingly amazing, but there have been so many challenges to getting to it. So that's why I was like, nah, something has to be, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm not even close to the success that I want to accomplish and reach, right? So what she would assume and look at as success in my life, for me, I'm like, oh my God, if you were to know what I want to do, what success looks like to me, you wouldn't even think that I'm successful, because I still think there's so much to do and such a long way to still go. So yeah, and I was listening to like this. You guys are gonna forgive me. Like I'm still catching my breath to like this experience as well, because I never share, I never talk about these experiences. So I'm being patient with myself as well. But I was listening to a sermon that was by a pastor, and I think his name is called Darius. I don't know how to say his name, but Darius Daniels. I was laughed at yesterday by a friend. I kept saying people's names incorrectly because I use my accent to pronounce someone's name. So I want to do it right. Okay. I think it's Darius or Dr. Darius Daniels. But he was given a sermon and he was like, your measure of pain should be the measure of your profit. So if you look at the amount of pain that you've gone through, that should give you an indication of how much profit you deserve. And I'm going to say that again. The amount of pain that you've experienced is a measure of how much profit you deserve. So the more pain you've experienced, the more profit you deserve. And I was like, oh, Holy Ghost fire. What is this word? And I like that. And also that kind of also inspired me once again to like utilize this platform to share my pain, right? With the desire of and the hopes of helping someone else. Because I've often hid away and shied away from sharing my pain, and that I've realized has been a stumbling block for me to like actively pursuing some of my profits, because I've been hidden in shame and wanted to like break free from that. And that, of course, again, being part of the mental health effects that the pain has caused me, that I've been hidden in shame, that I've not been able to share that. And that has become a stumbling block to me actively showcasing and sharing my personality, my voice. And in the beginning, initial starting point, I was all confident to, share my voice and be open. And along the way, because of the pains that I've come across, I found myself then being aware and shying, and that kind of led me to being a closed book and to being kind of like showcasing a one-dimensional view of who I am and not like the pains and the failures to success. So this message then inspired me to say, you know what, let me actively pursue also for myself, just sharing with others and giving others like an insight of my world and what it is that I get to experience in the process of like, I don't know why I'm doing crocodile eyes, but in the process of success. But that message really gave me some like enthusiasm to say, hey, I experienced this pain. I know that someone else listening out there might be experiencing or have experienced it, and could help give someone else a bit of a ooze and a bit of like a, you know what I mean? And I've had some great successes in my life. Like I've had incredible successes, and as with that message, like your pain is a measure of your profit. The success, the pains that have been caused by the success, and also the profit could also mean certain opportunities, right? And that's why for me, I've said the inconsistency within not sharing the pain, not getting certain opportunities because I'm not open enough, or I'm not allowing myself to be open enough because I'm still dealing with the pain and I'm still dealing with the mental health effects of the pain. So that has caused me not to get certain opportunities. So not being able to accomplish or reach a certain success that I want to because of that. So I found myself experiencing a couple of success stories that I have seen. Some of the things that I've worked have been certain goals and I've accomplished, and I'm going to be, sharing some of those with you, and also sharing the backside of those successes, right? Like my TEDx talk. I did a TEDx talk at the age of 19 in 2017, and I was in my first year of university, right? Very young, doing a TEDx talk. But what were the challenges behind and the failures and the pains that were behind that success? I, wrote a book at the age of 21, but there was so many failures. You guys, there were so many failures behind that. And I'm going to be sharing those as well, within this podcast. Traveling, I've had the most beautiful experience of being able to travel. But let me tell you this, there's nothing as painful as experiencing a thing without experiencing that thing. And I'm going to put it this way. And I've only realized that only now upon reflection, which is why I like taking times off, because it enables you time to reflect. And I haven't necessarily been able to reflect because of you're on the move. But when you take pauses and breaks, you have time to kind of reflect, right? So I have come to this realization that, hey, wait a minute. I'm traveling the world, not only 2 other countries, but I've traveled across South Africa over a period of 3 months. I've gone to every province in the country, traveled, I think about 6 states in the USA. I've traveled to Dubai, and that has been quite an extensive amount of traveling. And I've done this from 2021, and we're only in month 5 of 2023. So between November 2021 and May of 2023, I've been traveling. So 6 months I spent in the US last year, and earlier on that year I had been to Dubai, and in between those times I'm traveling between Johannesburg and Cape Town to the Eastern Cape. My family traveling. The year before I was traveling to the US and back and forth between Joburg and Cape Town. So the traveling part of it is oh my God, you're traveling, you're getting to experience different people, different things, but there are certain challenges and I want to stop using the word challenges, but it might just pop up from time to time, but certain experiences and certain failures and certain pains that have occurred in that traveling that I would not wish on my worst enemy. It has been exoneratingly painful experiences that, because of the traveling, which is this success, but what comes with before that, in that, and after that is a lot. So the traveling has been one of the, successes that I've been able to experience graduating university. And I'm doing that one with a loud bang because I was the first individual in my family to graduate from the University of Cape Town, which is the number 1 university in Africa. And being the first to do that, and all of the things that I've mentioned have been the first in. I've been the first. So you can only imagine, if it's breaking generational curses, and it's the first in your family to do this, and that, it is going to come hard. Because if it was not hard, someone else would have done it, right? It would have been, it's the enemy trying to show you that you're not gonna, like, I don't want you to open this door for your family and for your generations to come, because now nobody in my family ain't gonna go to UCT. Nobody in my family ain't gonna travel. My brothers, my family, everyone is gonna start, now they must now start traveling. Locally, internationally, every otherwise, because I've opened that door. Universe, no one's gonna not go to UCT. Like, I'm telling even I'm like, UCT is now the bare minimum y'all should do, right? Because I've opened that particular door. Now y'all must be going to Ivy League schools. I want going all the way higher from here. So graduating was one of those experiences that was like very, very, very like stressful and strenuous, and like had its own pain injections that were just like, I kept like, you know, when you just keep ducking and you just like keep diving because you're like, why y'all coming out these bullets coming at me consistently at the same time? Like, what? Can I breathe? Can I get a moment to just breathe? So graduating was a recent experience. It was absolutely amazing. I haven't even shared the experience because I've just been soaking in it. I took some time to like, when I was at the graduation, I was just like, wow, I'm here. I didn't even have my phone with me. I was just like absorbing the experience, you know, in the moment, fully present in there. So that has been a recent success, but I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of the failures to that success as well. Obviously starting VN, that I remember when I was going live with VN, I had announced a couple of days before starting the company, or at least going active or going live with it. I had announced it a couple of days prior, and when I was going live to share what I was starting, everyone was so excited. Like, people were live with me on Instagram and on Facebook, and everyone was like, oh my God, yes. And I was like, I don't know if y'all know what has occurred before this moment, and I don't know if y'all know what's about to get down. Because I was aware that it's about to get down, and it's not going to go down easily. It's not going to go down smoothly. So it's about to get really crazy. And I knew that. And I was coming into the experience already with that understanding. I'm not going to lie. So that has been a great success. We've recently launched our own television channel, 24-hour TV channel in the USA. It's viewable and watched on Roku. And it is really cool, right? Having our own TV channel in America. Yay. But what does that cost? What is the true mental, emotional, psychological, physical, spiritual? I actually forgot financial. All of the costs that come with that. What are those? Because we need to know, so that as we're getting ourselves within these amazing, incredible situations and like processes and journeys and successes, we need to know what we're getting ourselves into, right? So now you can come at it more strategically, more aware, instead of coming at it blindly and then getting massive surprises, which you'll survive, but you'll be, you know, stressed out. And as like for me, being in the moment, but not experiencing the moment because of like the stress that comes with it. And I don't want that for you. I want you to experience every moment that you've worked hard for. And you're like, I've worked so hard just to not experience this because of the pains that came with it, that have led me and made me and put me in a position where I'm not even able to begin to experience it. Not cool. Absolutely not cool. So there are some of these experiences and so much more that I'll be sharing with you. But I also do know that there are others who have similar experiences. I'm going to be inviting them on the show to share their failures to success, to help equip you for your journey to success. So be ready, mental, physical, psychological, spiritual, financial, and most importantly, mental health effects to success. That's what we'll be learning about and so much more on this podcast. So I hope that you're ready and I hope that you're looking forward to it, because I definitely am. Ladies and gents, my name is Vuyo Joboda and this is my very first podcast. It is The Failures to Success with your darling Vuyo Joboda. We're going to be doing this as often as we possibly can, and I hope that You guys will take it all in, share this podcast with your friends and family and those who are doers and dreamers and who are on the active journey to ensuring that they change and improve their lives in every aspect of their lives. I love you all so, so much. And thank you for tuning in. I'll see you all on the next episode of Failures to Success. I love you, darlings. And from me to you, it is goodbye. Ciao for now. And I'll see you on the flip side. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that you learned a thing or two and hopefully plenty of information, insight, and of course, inspiration right here on the Failures to Success podcast. My name is Vuyo Joboda. I'll see you on the next episode. But for now, do follow me on all social media platforms at Vuyo Joboda, and also visit our YouTube channel on at Vuyo Joboda for more of this episode and many others. From myself to you with so much love, it is goodbye, and don't forget, it's one day at a time, one step at a time, one failure at a time, and one success at a time. Love you loads. Goodbye for now.